Guys, can a $350 rifle withstand some serious abuse? Today, we're gonna find out. Drop number one. And you know, I've never actually taken a less expensive rifle and just beat the heck out of it to see what would happen. So this is a $350 rifle from Radical Firearms. You may have recognized it from the budget rifles video that we did, which would be in this card. Or you might have recognized it from Civilian Tactical's video where he put 1,000 rounds through it as fast as he possibly could, just to see if it would keep working. Today, we're gonna take this rifle and we are gonna beat the absolute heck out of it. To start, let's get a control and make sure that the rifle functions. We're on a safe range right now. We got about 10 rounds of X-Tac 5.56. This came from Bulk Munitions. Big shout to them for making sure we have ammunition all year. Let's do a control first, make sure the weapon functions as intended. I would say that right now it's functioning as intended. Let's go ahead and do our first test. Okay, so first things first, this weapon's clear, it's safe. It's unloaded. There's no live ammunition up here for this portion of the test. So now most people, when they drop a weapon, they're gonna do it from about chest height. Means for your cheaper guns is probably nothing. So for this first test, we're gonna take the rifle, we're gonna drop it from the second floor of this barn, and we're gonna do that about 5 times. Here we go. Drop number one. Not that big of a deal. Drop number two. All right, we're looking, ooh, we got a little bit of dirt in the muzzle there. So before we shoot this, we'll have to punch the board. All right, drop number three. Ooh, we speared that one right into the ground. Drop number three was a bit of a success. We've got some cleaning rods out in the truck, so don't worry about that. Drop number four. We're gonna try to get it in the buttstock this time. All right, that was drop number four. We went for the buttstock, and drop number 5. All right, so that was 5 drops from the second floor of a barn. We're gonna go punch the dirt out of that muzzle device, make sure that our barrel isn't obstructed, and we will conduct a test fire, make sure that the weapon is still working. Ready? All right, guys, so we got the dirt out of the chamber there. Everything seems lined up and safe, so we're gonna go ahead and take this and do another 10 rounds through it. And just so you guys are all aware, you know that we're safe, I've got my buddy Bill here. He's a certified gunsmith, and he is gonna be making sure the gun is absolutely safe before we go to shoot it. And let's go. So let's go ahead and put another 10 rounds down range, and then we'll move on to the next part of the testing. So far, so good. Those 5 drops didn't seem to impact at all. What do you say we hit it with the tractor? All right, the weapon is clear and it is on safe. So we did 5 drops. It did not impact the firearm in any meaningful way. It still functions just fine. So now we're gonna go ahead and up the stakes a little bit. I'm gonna have my buddy Bill here go ahead and run this over with a 1,500-pound Kubota tractor and see if that has any impact on the weapon's ability to function. Remember, guys, Bill is he's a certified Kubota tractor driver. Isn't that right, Bill? All right, Bill, let's go ahead and run this puppy over. Hey, Bill, why don't you reverse back over it one more time? We heard some cracking in there when he was driving over it, so let's go ahead and beat this thing loose. Bolt still cycles just fine. We've got a little bit of warping on the handguard here. What do you say we go give it 10 more rounds, see if it's still functioning as it should? I think it's gonna. All right, so Bill just hit this with the tractor. We can see there's extensive damage from the gravel. And also the most serious thing to note is that the handguard got a little bit bent and now is actually almost, but not quite, contacting the barrel down towards the end. So see where that, towards the end of the handguard, the weight of that tractor was really able to compress this cheaper aluminum handguard. And throughout the whole time that I've been shooting this gun, the only complaint that I've had about it is the handguard is a little bit wobbly. It's no more wobbly than it was when we started right now, which I'm actually kind of impressed by that fact, but it is still wobbly. Another thing that happened, we can see as this pin that holds the ejection port cover is starting to come out, but it does function as intended still. We're gonna go ahead and put another 10 rounds through this. We did check the barrel, it is still straight. So let's go ahead and go over and put another 10 rounds through it, make sure everything is good there. And then we will move on to the mud test, which will also use that tractor. Let's go ahead and move on to the mud test. You ready, Bill? Keep it level, keep it level. Okay. Next test, we are gonna put this in all this mud. We're gonna work it around, and then my good friend Bill here is gonna dump it out and then drive over it. And then we will uncover it from the mud, and then I'm gonna punch the barrel to make sure everything's clear and safe, and then we will attempt shooting it again. I think this is the test where we're really gonna start to see this firearm have some issues, but I'm happy to be surprised. So let's get this in here. All right. Okay. Things I do for you guys. Let it rip. Grab it, pick it up, and ooh, yeah, we're in the mag well there. So we're gonna have to actually probably hit this with the hose before we go ahead and shoot it, because I don't think I can even get a magazine in here. So this is a bit of an extreme test with the mud. The one thing that I've immediately noticed, our handguard is exponentially looser, but the handguard issues that we kind of been talking about are quite a bit worse than they were before. We're just gonna hose this off, make sure that I can actually insert a magazine into the firearm. But yeah, let's get this hosed off first. All right, we're just gonna punch the bore real quick. We're gonna just make sure that there is nothing obstructing our barrel, because there clearly is. Oh, why are you doing that though? Because I don't want the barrel to explode. Safety is the name of the game. I could shoot this with the mud in there, and chances are it would be perfectly fine, but we gotta be safe. All right, so we washed out all the critical parts so that the weapon would actually function. We did not put any lubrication on this at all. I will be super impressed if this continues, if it fires without a malfunction here, because there's still quite a bit of dirt on and in the buffer housing. And there's also a lot of grime and grossness on the bolt itself, and you can kind of feel it go back. But let's go ahead and see what this does. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Trying not to get mud on my face. So yeah, not a single malfunction. You can actually see how much grime is in that chamber, and it's still functioning just fine. I'm thoroughly impressed by this $350 rifle. Yeah, I'm very impressed by this. Guys, I gotta say, I'm impressed. What we've done today is we took this to the second story of a barn. We dropped it 5 times. After that, we took it out into Bill's driveway. We hit it with a 1,500-pound tractor, give or take 200 to 400 pounds if you count the attachments. Smashed the handguard up pretty good, but the firearm still functioned just fine. We did lose a little bit of the ejection port cover pin, but as we can see, that's still functioning just fine. And then after that, we took the tractor around the back, we dug up some mud, threw it in the bucket, and then dumped it on the ground into more mud and ran it over. And you know, after I hosed it out just to make sure that everything was clear of any hard debris that would actually stop the gun, like hard stop the gun from firing. It still functioned. Guys, I got to remind you, this is a $350 firearm, and we're not paid by Radical to make this video. We don't even sell Radical parts. And it just goes to show like how far machining has coming over the years, how far manufacturing has come over the years. At the price point Radical is putting this out into the market, you're really getting a strong value. Yeah, I think honestly, if I were talking to Radical face to face, I would say, figure out this handguard, this lockup issue that you guys have, and this is just a really good firearm. And I guess at the end of the day, what it goes to show is that you can get a lot of firearm without a lot of money in today's market, just because of how far manufacturing has come over the years. If you guys want to see how you can take this $350 rifle and make it feel like $1,000, go ahead and check out this video, and I'll walk you through some of the upgrades you can make to this thing to really make it an awesome rifle. We'll see you in the next one. Man, crazy.